Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are here sold out live in the Lucas Oil Arena here in Indianapolis, Indiana for some great NXT wrestling action. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a stacked card for you here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Undisputed Warrior. We have a great show in store for you here as tonight in the main event, it will be the NXT champion himself, Carmelo Hayes, taking on the one and only Penta. And ladies and gentlemen, but coming up right now, we have a champion versus champion contest as the NXT North American champion, Bron Breakker, takes on the SmackDown Tag Champion, Matt Riddle. And here we go.
The following champion versus champion contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Woodstock, Georgia, weighing in at 230 pounds, the NXT North American Champion, Bron Breakker.
The dogs are barking here in Indianapolis, Indiana, as the big dog. And no, I'm not talking about the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I'm talking about the new big dog, Bron Breakker, is in the house. And this crowd is in a frenzy to see this man in action as he goes one-on-one with one half of SmackDown Tag Team Champion, Matt Riddle, in this King of the Ring Round 1 matchup. And you can hear Bron Breakker barking, waiting for the arrival of one Matt Riddle. And here comes the enigmatic Matt Riddle. He's strutting his way down to the ring. This is going to be an interesting matchup to say the least.
And
these two,
his opponent from Hollywood, Florida, weighing in at 195 pounds, one half of the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Matt
Riddle entering the ring here as the crowd roars for his entrance in the ring. This is going to be an interesting match. I was about to say and allude to moments ago, is this is going to be a very interesting matchup to say the least, as even though Bron Breakker is way bigger than Matt Riddle, their styles are so different they can clash, as you got the MMA background of Matt Riddle versus the wrestling background of Bron Breakker. And here we go, the bell sound. This crowd here in Indianapolis, Indiana is in a frenzy for these two to go at it one-on-one. Two young up-and-comer talents trying to show you why they should be world heavyweight champion. Well, I shouldn't say up-and-coming for Matt Riddle. He is a SmackDown champion. As you know, SmackDown's looked at as the quote-unquote main roster. NXT, even though it has established itself as another main roster, people still look at it as developmental for talents like Bron Breakker, who I think is more than ready and capable to be on Raw or SmackDown, as these guys lock arms. We got some chain wrestling action going on. Like I said, this interesting matchups in styles. Bron throws Matt to the ground and goes for a quick cover, gets a 2 count, but Riddle kicks out. Maybe just a little stun there, maybe taking a chance to catch his breath after being in a, chain wrestling situation. Now back again with it, and Bron Breakker just, as you see the power, just dominating, pushing, and moving Matt Riddle to the corner. And look at this. Oh my God, he's got hooked up. Matt Riddle going for a ride. Belly suplex. This crowd is going crazy. And Bron Breakker, early offense, early on with the clothesline. But Matt Riddle with a slick counter there. Bron Breakker trying, well, not trying, Matt Riddle trying to build some offense here Falcon Arrow Scoop Slam connects there onto Bron Breakker. Matt Riddle going to the middle rope there. Call it on Bron Breakker. And oh, a Meteor connects. As you know, Matt Riddle, former MMA fighter, professional MMA fighter. That's why you see him in the ring, kind of like he's in an MMA octagon. He is no boots, no socks, no shoes, just straight feet meat, pause. He is there to rough up feathers. He's not there for looks. He's not there for swag. He's there to get a victory and to head to the King of the Ring tournament round 2. But facing a guy like Bron Breakker who's almost double his size. Bron Breakker, I think he's like 240 pounds. Matt Riddle at 195. That's a pretty big difference, but the submission hold could end Bron Breakker's night, but Matt Riddle have to give it up. Maybe noticing Bron Breakker wasn't looking to tap there. Bron Breakker all out of sorts, rolls out the way of that one. But early on, Matt Riddle getting the best of Bron Breakker's. Bron's trying to turn the tables here and get some offense going onto Matt Riddle. The action that spilled to ringside here by the entranceway. And just to throw him up, back suplex, alley-oop, back suplex onto the padded concrete floor there at ringside. Referee Adrian Butler had accounted too, but Bron back in and Matt Riddle slinging Bron Breakker into the ropes and then hits him with the German suplex. This is going to be a hard-hitting matchup right here. When I saw this match booked for the card, I was excited because these styles, like I say, they clash. You never know which way you're going to get. The striking MMA background of Riddle versus the wrestling brawling style of Bron Breakker, and then the size difference. Both are champions. Both can knock one another out with just one punch. As you see, Matt Riddle right there looking to be in the driver's seat. Picks up Bron Breakker, looking at him with a powerbomb. Bron Breakker fights out of it quickly, grabs him by the neck. The sheer power. Look at this. Shades of his uncle, Scott Steiner. And into a flip. The cover here. The athletic ability might have won him the match, and no. The athletic ability of Bron Breakker, and then he also shows the power there by lifting Matt Riddle up over his shoulders in a military press slam position and slams him down. But hey, the conditioning, the endurance, and the recovery ability of Matt Riddle sees him fighting back, trying to get his offense in. And you see these two trading shots in the corner. Riddle looking to maybe get the upper hand. Leaping clothesline connects. And now educated feet to the side of the jaw and face and head of steel. Oh my gosh. Running start. I don't even know what you want to call that. Kind of like a mini big boot in a sense, but there's no boot. And power slam, power bomb. And oh my God, I needed a face. And I think that caught him flush on the side of the head. And I think it busted him open. That knee strikes. I'm telling you, these styles, these two have it. Wait a minute, look at this. Matt Riddle, oh my God, Mexican Destroyer. Matt Riddle, I didn't know he had that in the repertoire. Throw. And he almost just knocked out the lights of Bron Breakker to advance to the second round. But Bron Breakker kicks out the toughness of Bron Breakker being displayed. Matt Riddle, 360 splash, the cover, 2, got him, no! Bron Breakker is showing very much high resilience as Matt Riddle will not relent on this offense. And a combination of clothesline followed by a Russian leg sweep. Matt climbing again. Is he going for another one? He is! He got it again! Riddle hit it again! And in the cover, 1, 2, throw! Oh my God, how is Bron Breakker doing this? And the crowd in appreciation of this match saying we're not worthy. And Bron Breakker put down the straps. He's hulking up right now. Looking to get some momentum back in this match. But went outside me to catch his breath. But that took taking advantage. That is Matt Riddle power slam. And Matt Riddle showing the strength he has for a guy his size. And once again, Bron Breakker in trouble. Matt Riddle, oh my God! Leaping roundhouse kick into a springboard splash. What a combination! The cover to yes, no! What a way to start things off here on NXT. You gotta love wrestling here. And Matt Riddle trying to think what he can do. Oh no. Matt Riddle hooked up. He's got him. Showing off the move that his former tag team partner and Randy Orton taught him. Hangman DDT from the middle rope, paying homage to Orton, who's on the shelf indefinitely right now. The cover, two, he's got him finally, no! How is Bron able to kick out over and over again? But he's showing you resilience, why he is a North American champion, why he's a former NXT champion, the grit, the determination to be great and to be a world champion is pulsating through this young man. Here the cover again, first time Bron, no! And Riddle kicks out, and Riddle showing off the toughness. Now it's Bron Breakker measuring up Riddle. Is he maybe going for a spear? Might have, but somehow Riddle countered, but wasn't able to follow up. Bron Breakker, oh, leaping punch. Matt Riddle swinging wildly, missing. He got countered by a super spear from Bron Breakker to Riddle. Two, got him. Holy cow, what a match. I thought this match was over so many different times, especially in favor of Riddle. The combinations of strikes, the offense, the fact that he busted open Bron Breakker early on in the match. I thought Riddle would get that job done, but Bron Breakker showing that extra gear, that championship reserve that he had, just a little bit more in the tank than Riddle did here tonight. And you see it culminate with that devastating spear. Something he might have picked off from the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns. And ladies and gentlemen, Bron Breakker, bloodied, beaten, but not broken, will advance to the King of the Ring tournament in round 2, as you see right here. Oh boy, he's got a date with the Animal, as he will go one-on-one with Batista in round 2 of the King of the Ring tournament, in a match that some would say could be a dream match of sorts. And Bron Breakker will take on former world champion, the Animal, Batista, in the next round. Congratulations, Bron Breakker. Welcome back, everybody, and later on tonight we have two best friends, former TNA Knockout champions, in the newly acquired Jordynne Grace. She takes on her best friend Naomi in King of the Ring round 1 action. But right now we are set for more King of the Ring tournament round 1 action, as Ethan Page is making his way down the aisle.
Making his way to the ring from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 214 pounds, All Ego, Ethan Page.
As Ethan Page making his way down to the ring, a chorus of boos for this Pride Canadian. Well, they call him All Ego for a reason. You see him just telling the fans here in Indianapolis to kiss his ass. He don't give a damn about no fans here. He can care less about being a fan favorite. He's here to make money and here to make a lot of money and to win championships. He doesn't care about making friends or any of that hoopla. And you can't blame the guy. I mean, you know, in an industry like this, in the wrestling industry, you can't be worried about making friends and being loved by the crowd. They will come and go. They will turn on you. When they like you, they'll like you. When they hate you, they'll hate you. So you got to worry about yours.
American made from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 202 pounds, Chad Gable.
And speaking of fan favorites, the opposite, the polar opposite of what Ethan Page stands for, there's the man right here. In Chad Gable, we saw grappling wrestling action from Bron Breakker. This man comes from the same background, amateur wrestler turned professional wrestler, amateur collegiate wrestling out of, I believe, the University of Minnesota, like a former guy named Brock Lesnar and even Shelton Benjamin come out of that wrestling, university. But you just got the Chad Gable's beloved by the fans. He represents the United States. And every time he fights, people have hoped that he would one day become a United States champion. You got a guy like Ethan Page. He kind of despises, certain things here in the States. That's just kind of his motto. I think he just does it to get on the fans' skin there. But interesting because if whoever wins this matchup, either Chad Gable or Ethan Page, will face John Cena in the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. And he will also be facing him for his United States Championship. So this is a great opportunity for not only these two to advance to the King of the Ring tournament and fight for a World Championship, but also win a United States Championship title in the process. And you see the mat grappling wrestling background by Chad Gable coming into action early on this matchup. And now look at there, the boot, shades of what we saw from Riddle and Bron early on, as right now early on it is the wrestling grappler Chad Gable taking advantage of. A lot of guys have obviously compared him to Kurt Angle for obvious reasons. He's even gotten some comparison to Chris Benoit in his technical wrestling prowess, his grappling abilities. Kurt Angle and Benoit, I know that's not a name that gets thrown around here in the WWE often, but look at that perfectly executed drop kick. But those two were mat tacticians at its finest in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they all both had great careers. Both were world champions at one point. They were tag team champions together at one point. And you look at Chad Gable trying to get his inner Kurt Angle and maybe win this matchup and then go on to round two, beat Cena, become a United States champion, and fight for a world heavyweight champion. A lot of people think Chad Gable should get an opportunity. They think he's a main eventer, the ability that he has in the ring. But right now, Ethan Page is trying to hold all of that, as he's really not concerned with what people think about Chad Gable. I talked to him backstage last week in preparation of this match, and he said Chad Gable's a little shrimp. They call him Shorty G because he's small. He's strong, but he's small. Tiny, but mighty. Oh, and right there, Chad Gable showing Ethan Page about calling him small and tiny, showing off the strength that he has in the cover. Just might have beat Mr. Ego, but no, he kicks out. And he says he doesn't fear Chad Gable. He's not scared of him. He's a bigger opponent. He's going to impose his will on Chad Gable and show people why he should be the next world champion. And he says if he beats Chad, faces Cena, he's got a surprise for everybody. He's going to make modifications to the United States Championship. I don't know what he means by that. I don't know if he's authorized to that, but he's got to not look ahead. He can't just assume he's going to beat Chad Gable because he's bigger than him. But right now, the size and strength comparison is paying dividends, and he just hit him with the razor's edge. He calls it Ego's edge, but only a 2 count. Chad Gable showing some fight resiliency. Like I said, he calls that Ego's edge. He's paying his respects to the late, great Scott Hall there. And now Chad Gable with the half Boston Crab, taking the legs and the knees, trying to weaken, the power of Ethan Page. But Ethan Page again, showing off the power to a chorus of boos. And right there again, Chad trying to roll out the way, but he still caught the boot to the back of the head by Ethan Page. And right now he's starting to prove that, he's 6'5", 6'6", 240 some pounds. he's a big guy, and Chad Gable not that much bigger than me. I mean, height-wise, Chad Gable's a much more strong, bigger, you know, human being than I am in terms of muscular physique. But right now, it's Ethan Page is posing his will on him. Chad Gable, all out of sorts, in trouble. He's got to find a way to creep back into this matchup. Ethan Page is dominating him at this current junction of time. And Chad Gable not moving too much. This might be it. The cover here, too. Can it be it? And no, Chad Gable barely gets the shoulder up, using his whole body. And now Ethan Page going right again for a kill. Wait a minute, got the feet on the ropes. But Chad Gable to power out and cutter out of nowhere. Ethan Page cutters through the ring. Two, he's got him, no. Shades of the Riddle Bron Breakker match. Just when you thought a match was gonna end for one individual, the opponent kicks out, but I don't know. He might not be kicking out of another's ego edge. Wrap it up. Ethan Page is gonna face Cena, no. How is Chad Gable kicking out of two ego's edges? This crowd in disbelief trying to wheel Chad Gable back in this matchup. But right now it's all Ethan Page. But wait a minute. Chad Gable trying to show some fight here. Rolls out of the mounted strikes and for his own. There goes up top. Oh, no water in the pool. Crash and burn. And again, Ethan Page trying to use the ropes, but the referee, Agent Butler, doing a great job keeping his head on a swivel, seeing it, and now crossface, shades of Chris Benoit. We talked about it. Can he do it? No. Thought he was gonna get the tap, but Ethan Page fighting out of that, and now back on the offense there. And now Ethan Page, shades of Triple H with that spine buster there, a sit-out spine buster, a different variation than the one Triple H used, but spine buster synonymous with Triple H, and a big boot there. But Chad Gable able to roll out the ring. He's all out of sorts and got caught, picks him up, hooks him up. Can he deliver a third Razor's Edge and a cover? Got him. You can hate him all you want, but you can't deny this young man's talented ability. Chad Gable trying to clear his head, goes back into the ring, but in the waiting arms of Ethan Page for the third devastating Razor's Edge. And look, he had even more height on that than he did in the other ones. And with this win, Ethan Page has booked himself to the second round of the King of the Ring tournament, and he will go on to face, you see right there, John Cena on a given date, and it'll also mean he'll also compete for the United States Championship. Congrats, Ethan Page. Back, and it's time to get things glowing here as Naomi is making her second appearance since returning to the WWE Championship in the qualifying matches of this tournament, and the crowd in Indianapolis is loving every bit of the return of the glow. Naomi is here, and she said she's glad to be back. She said she enjoyed her time in NXT, got to meet incredible new women, face new talent, have a whole new experience, got to meet her now new best friend, Jordynne Grace, who will be out here in just a few moments to face Naomi. And she said, but there's something special about being in a WWE ring in the arena. She said, I don't know what else, I can't quite put my finger on it, but in that time of WWE hiatus, I traveled around, and there's something about being here. She's like, I missed it. I'm glad to be back. And she's like, on top of that, she is excited for the opportunity to compete for the first ever inaugural Women's Intercontinental Championship. She said she's already a two-time SmackDown champion, and she would love to add the newly the newly minted Women's Intercontinental Championship to her resume. She says she knows it's not going to be an easy task. She's got to face Jordynne Grace. If she can get through her, the other women in the field are just as tough, if not even tougher. So she knows she's got a tough task, but she's confident and looking forward to facing her best friend.
It's not over until I win.
And her opponent from Austin, Texas, Jordynne Grace.
And Jordynne Grace is making her way to the ring. Her second appearance here on NXT after signing a shocking signing that sent shockwaves not just here in the WWE and even TNA universe, but in the wrestling industry itself. She was a household name at TNA. Former TNA Women's Knockout Champion, top star. But, you know, as I talked to her, she said it's time to move on to bigger and better things. She loved her time in TNA. She wouldn't change it, nothing in the world. But that time in TNA has allowed her to elevate her game to be here in the WWE. She said if she didn't have that, she doesn't know if she would even be the talented superstar that she is now, and the WWE might not have been calling. But she is that woman now, and they have called, and she's here facing her best friend. And friend or not, they're not gonna mix any type of, they're not going to go easy on each other one bit. As you see out that gates, a devastating suplex, and then a strike from the knee to the skull of Naomi as Jordynne Grace imposing her will and her power. And her strike there, like inverted power slam. Naomi landing face and sternum first into the mat here. And now these ham-hot clubbing clothesline, alternating clothesline strikes. And now a third, or I don't know, a fourth one that drops Naomi. And Naomi's in trouble here. Smartly rolls outside. Veteran move right. Naomi right there, but maybe not. As Jordynne Grace is now using the environment to her advantage, slamming Naomi down to the concrete once and now twice, and now looking for a third time. And I thought these two were friends. They don't seem like it right now. Jordynne Grace is treating Naomi just like a regular opponent. But that's what you gotta do. You gotta treat your friends, your allies like regular opponents in matchups like this, when there's titles to be had, titles to be won, money to be made. You can't just phone it in because that's your friend on the other side of the ring. You have to take it serious. You have to take it to them, because on the other side of the ring is a two-time women's champion here in the WWE, and then a TNA Knockouts champion is Naomi, so you can't take it easy on her, even though Jordynne Grace is the stronger competitor. But it doesn't matter. Naomi has the agility, the speed, the quickness, and power of herself. Look at this. Wait a minute. Oh, Jordynne Grace stuck out the backside and takes out that knee. Naomi showing the power that she has, looking for a suplex, but Jordynne Grace counters, and look at this, pulls her by the hair and slams her down. And now in the cover here, one and only one. Naomi said she already knows about the power that Jordynne Grace possesses. She's obviously fought her many times down in TNA. She's not intimidated by her, but she is aware of it. She knows at 1 second the match can be over, but she said, I have moves in my arsenal that can do the same thing. I'm quick, I'm agile, I'm gonna use those to my advantage. Jordynne Grace isn't phenomenal, but she's not as fast, as quick as I am, and not as agile, but maybe wrong, as a flying clothesline by Jordynne Grace taking out Naomi. I didn't know Jordynne Grace had that in her arsenal. Like I said, known for a bruiser, a powerhouse style fighter. And Naomi here trying to get offense in, but every time she does try, Jordynne Grace stops her in her tracks, and then right there went for a spear. Naomi countered it, and Naomi counters again and drops down and elbow onto Jordynne Grace. And now Naomi looking to build, and every time she tries, Jordynne's got something for her. Inverted suplex, dropping Naomi, and Naomi is all out of sorts. goes out the ring. Jordynne pumping up this crowd, but maybe took a little too much time to celebrate, and Naomi looking to take advantage of it. It takes one hip attack for Naomi to be right back in this matchup and not even win this matchup, and Naomi knows it. That's why she's not giving up, fighting hard to stay alive, and drops a leg down onto Jordynne while she was hung over the bottom rope. Now Naomi going up top, flying high, splash, no water in the pool, belly flops. But Naomi still fighting, recovers quickly to able to try to add some offense. And look at this, a kick to the face. And getting out of that is Naomi, and a flying forearm, and Naomi's feeling it. This crowd here is pumped for this match. They've been hot all night, and why shouldn't they be? It's been 3 great matches so far, and we have the main event still to come. Jordynne Grace trying to show everyone why she's a main eventer here in the WWE. Imagine the possibilities. You could get Jordynne Grace versus the now current NXT star, SmackDown champion Rhea Ripley, but this might be over. Brain Buster no! Shades of Samoa Joe with that Brain Buster by Jordynne Grace, but Naomi's in trouble. Jordynne Grace stalking her. Kick to the midsection, hooks her up. Jordynne driver, into the cover. 3. And in kind of shocking fashion, Jordynne wins this match kind of in a dominant way. Naomi was just really never able to get anything going, had some offense, but maybe their friendship and her just knowing Naomi really well was what enabling Naomi from really getting any type of offense in. And Jordynne Grace just won and booked herself to round 2 of the King of the Ring tournament. And she has a date with the Queen, Charlotte Flair, in a round 2 matchup, quarterfinal matchups, to see who will go to face the semifinals for that Women's Intercontinental Championship. Jordynne Grace is your winner here tonight.
Here is your winner, Jordynne Grace!
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up.
Making his way to the ring from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing in at 210 pounds, the NXT champion, Carmelo Hayes.
Because this is the main event of the evening. The NXT champion himself, Carmelo Hayes, entering the arena here in a chorus of cheers. This crowd has been on fire all night, and they've been rewarded with great NXT action, and it's going to culminate with the NXT champion going one-on-one with a Lucha legend newly acquired, the one and only Penta. Carmelo with his signature entrance. He is ready, he is confident for the arrival of Penta. Listen to this crowd erupt as Penta is making his way to the aisle. Cerro Mero is in the building.
Mexico, weighing in at 87 kilos, Penta!
Just like, I don't know how this crowd has this energy left after what they've given to these superstars all night. Well, hell, I don't even know how I have this energy. Been calling Lots of high action all night. Hard-hitting action all night. And I have a feeling it's not ending here with this matchup, as Penta is in the ring, pumping and hyping up this crowd here in Indianapolis, as he is going to face the NXT champion, a non-title match, obviously, but this is going to determine who goes to the second round of the King of the Ring tournament. And here we go out the gate. Penta rushed in, got caught with a twisting neck breaker by Carmelo. And Carmelo going up for the springboard, and then Penta rolls out the way. And I said this is gonna be high-flying action. I knew it, had a feeling we're gonna see some crazy stuff here. And already out the gates, I feel like we were just seconds away from seeing something crazy, but both being able to counter and evade what one had in store for the other. And again, you're seeing counter after counter, these two incredibly high-octane competitors. And look at Penta showing the charisma on full display. Penta, wait a minute, Melo counter, kick to the chin. Super kick to the chin, and a springboard that connects this time, and Melo was feeling it. These two very similar in style. Obviously, Penta with way more experience on his side than the young Melo. Been here down NXT for 2 years now. NXT champion. Penta's traveled the globe, all around the world, and now he's made his stop, his permanent stop here in WWE in a perfectly executed drop kick by Carmelo, which a lot of people have high hopes for that Melo. Not only can he win the World Championship, but has an opportunity to become a WWE champion and the face of this franchise. Those are the hopes they said with his charisma, his looks, and his talent. The sky's the limit, but he's got to get past Penta, who is a veteran, but still young in his career, to be able to dominate. And wait a minute, oh my God, Mexican Destroyer! That's how it's done. Matt Riddle, take notes. Now, Matt Riddle was nice too, but it's nothing, doesn't look as smooth as it did by Penta. And Penta having wait a minute, countered. Wait a minute, Melo out of nowhere counters. Melo didn't even see the referee. The angles of the camera wasn't a good spot, but I thought Penta was gonna hit Melo with something special, but Melo with a tilt-a-whirl takedown counter and a sling by Penta. Penta trying to mount offense, but Melo countering. These two going back and forth, almost like they've studied each other. They've had time to, maybe they have, but look at this, another counter, and Penta chopping down at the legs, trying to use it to slow down Melo. Went for springboard, missed, and Penta got rolled up by Carmelo. This match is high octane at its finest. So many things happening. Scoop slam by Melo right there. And Melo going up top. Is he going for Melo? Don't miss. Frog splash instead. Shades of the late great legendary Eddie Guerrero. But Melo doesn't opt to go for a pin. Opts to elect to add more offense. Kind of very surprising in my opinion. Now going back up top. Penta rolls out of harm's way. And then Melo looked like he was going for Melo, don't miss. He missed there and landed awkwardly onto the concrete. But Melo trying to play it off like nothing happened. And wait a minute, Melo, catches Penta rushing in. And somehow Melo's still able to sustain offense after missing on that splash. Melo, what is he looking for? Doesn't matter, gets countered again by Penta. Penta! Went for a blockbuster, got countered by Melo. These two seem to have a counter for everything except for that code breaker that took out Penta, lifted him out of his damn boots there. Melo didn't go for a pin again. Melo, I'm surprised not going for a pin after that. Big time code breaker, elected to add more offense. I think he just knows he's got to wear down Penta. He knows Penta's got experience. He's endured so many moves in his career. He's got to do more, and this is why. Penta reverses into an inverted net breaker and trying to get the crowd on his side here. Penta shot with that forearm. Penta driver, center of the ring. Melo in trouble to go to the second round. And Melo kicks out. We've seen resiliency all night from guys like Bron Breakker, Chad Gable. It helped Bron get to victory. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough in the tank for Chad Gable. Will it help Melo push through and find a way to get past Penta here? Cutter! First 48! Melo calling Penta to his feet. What does he have in store for him? Sends him into the ropes, the corner, and now looking to take him up top. Oh no. Things are getting high risk and full reward. Superplex on the top rope. Connects. Into the cover. Adrian Butler in perfect position. Melo is indeed not going to the second round of the tournament. Penta kicked out somehow, but flops down after he kicks out. Penta dazed and confused. Melo, Penta in the drop zone! Melo don't miss, full connection. 2, Melo is indeed him. No! What? No! I thought that was 3. And Melo pleaded with Butler that was 3. There was no way that wasn't. And I think Melo's a little pissed off now. He feels that Penta got saved by a botched 3 count. You let me know in the comment section below if it was or wasn't. It was very close, hard to tell, but Adrian Butler only has like a 2.99999 and 1,000 nines. But Penta using this opportunity to fight back, sending Melo back first into the corner. Melo could be in trouble here or not. Melo trying to fight back. He thought he had this matchup won, looking for something else to put away the legendary Penta. And these two keep trading blows, trying to find what it can take to end the match for one another. And now the combination strikes by Penta to a Russian leg sweep takedown. What a main event. Let me know in the comment section below what has been your favorite matchup here. And let me know if you are NXT, Team Raw, or Team SmackDown. Got another backbreaker. And Penta stalking him, setting him up, looking for Penta driver, no. Counter, Melo, looking for first 48, no. Countered by Penta, chopping him down. Penta, forearm strikes, can he do it? Hooks him up, Penta driver, this time connects, the cover. Got him. What an insane main event match that was. I thought it was over. Melo hit nothing but nets, center of the ring, and I thought that was 3. So did Melo. It might have took him out of his concentration, but Penta survives and hit Melo with the Penta driver. And that was all she wrote, and Penta will head to, Carmelo back into the ring, and Penta offering a handshake, and Melo obliges. Great sportsmanship by these two men. Melo has nothing to be ashamed of whatsoever. But with this win, Penta is headed to round 2. Oh my God, and a dream match as 2 luchador legends, Rey Mysterio and Penta, will collide for an opportunity to be world champions. Good night, everyone, from Indianapolis.
Yeah, I will always be a warrior. You can't stop me now. Yeah, I will always be a warrior.